Town102 Breakfast with Pink. Who knew? Well, Ipswich has well and truly been put on the colouring map. I mean, just look at the food. Are we all obsessed with fish? And Dave James has got a point, hasn't he? What, more? More fish? I quite like fish cakes. I think he made a little bit of fuss about that. And scallops can be quite good, if they're cooked properly. How was it last night for David J. Marks, the magician in Felixstowe? It was his turn to get into the kitchen to sprinkle some magic dust over the food and impress his guests in Come Dine With Me as it visits Ipswich with his duck dish. Did the duck go down well? Did the duck go down? David, in Felixstowe, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much, Nick.
How do you feel you're coming across? Are you happy with what they've done on the cutting room floor?
Yeah, I mean, I'm relatively happy, but you never know what they're going to do, and, you know, there's always one or two things that you're going to cherry-pick out that you weren't particularly happy with, but that's just part of the gamble of going on the show, I suppose.
And what we have learned, because Dave has been talking about this morning in our news bulletins as well, is that they film so very much, don't they? Oh. He's mentioned it on air as well. I mean, hours and hours.
Yeah, I mean, they start at about 4:30 and don't finish till 4 in the morning, and it is, in about a week, I had about 10 hours sleep, so it is a very, very intense week, and I think sometimes that's possibly one of the main causes of some of the arguments and so on that go on, is just pure and total tiredness. But
we couldn't get hold of Kerry yesterday, whether she wanted to speak to us or not, or she couldn't answer a phone, one or the other. We didn't get hold of her, sadly, but this is the Millwall fan who lives Colchester way. She's had quite a lot of stick from viewers on Twitter and the rest. Do you think she's had an unfair press?
I think Kerry has had it really hard, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm still friends with Kerry and I'm still in contact with her, and she's genuinely a really lovely, heartwarming person, but I think that possibly doesn't come across because I think a nice person isn't particularly entertaining, and I think that means that she has to be not liked very much, but that's just the nature of the show, I suppose.
What was it like meeting the superstar that is Claire from the New Wolsey here in Ipswich?
Yeah, it was... you know, when you're going through the process, they ask you to describe people that you feel that you wouldn't get on with and that you would get on with, and after you spend a short period of time with everybody, you do realise why they've paired you up with everybody. And it was very obvious from the start why I was paired with Claire, as someone who maybe wouldn't like me very much. But there you go. No, she was lovely, really, I suppose.
Now, obviously, you have to be careful here, but when it comes to Dave James, have you enjoyed his dinner company?
Dave was an absolute pleasure to be around the table with. You know, he's a lovely guy. He's always being nice, and he's always got that Dave James smile on his face. Where if you're feeling a little down, that big pearly white teeth, they'll certainly knock the happiness back in.
You know they're not his own, don't you? You know they're not his own. They're all capped. All capped.
Well...
Yeah, he spent a fortune, all capped.
Yeah.
Anyway, more importantly, let's talk about you. You've had a little bit of abuse on Twitter, haven't you? Because there's some funny people around on Twitter. They like being rude to everyone, don't they? You've taken it on the chin well and truly and actually laughed back at them because you've had quite a few bookings for your magic act through your appearance on TV, haven't you?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, just any exposure is good at all, really, and anybody who wants to think negatively about me, all the people who are being negative are just slating me for being nerdy or a bit weird, and that's no shock to me. I know I'm nerdy and I know I'm weird, so it doesn't really bother me too much. The people I tend to concentrate on are the ones who are giving me lots of love, and I really am feeling the love from everybody who's been posting and just saying the nice things, to be honest with you. And
well, really for what it's worth, I think those of us that have been watching it intently here, because of Dave's involvement, obviously, I don't think we think you're nerdy or weird at all. Actually, you come across as a really nice young man, and you put Felixstowe well and truly in a good light. So well done, you. Enjoy the rest of the run on Channel 4. We're looking forward to seeing Dave James trying not to poison you in his kitchen later on this afternoon on telly. Thanks for your time and continued success. I hope the magic continues to work for you.
Brilliant. Thank you, Nick.
All the best. That's David. Well done, him. If you've enjoyed Come Dine With Me, Dave James would love to hear from you. He's on the radio, of course, as well. Weekday mornings here at Town 102 from 10. But when I said they're not his own teeth. His lawyers have already been on the phone. I have to issue an apology. Apologies. They don't look real, though.